is me, Danielle Danibuttons, and I'm here today to do something I think is going to be fun. I came up with this idea like 2 or 3 weeks ago and have not gotten around to do it, but I think the idea has evolved a little along the way, so that works out nicely. What are we doing? Okay, you see the mandala book. This is 100 Beautiful Mandalas by Camelia Angelkova. This is one of my 10 books to finish for the year, so I thought this would be a great book to do this with, but obviously any mandala will work. And what I decided to do is I'm going to base the colors of my mandala off of my current read. So I am currently reading Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren, and I'm going to use these colors from the cover to do a page. I actually picked them already, so I figure we have like the dark purple to the hot pink to the dark orange to the light orange to the yellow. So that's my idea. These 4 are Bic Intensity, and this is a Crayola Take Note. So let me show you my next page. Again, I'm trying to finish this whole book, and this will be page 71, but I also have a bunch finished from the back. So I think I'm gonna have like 18 left. So that will be fun. And we're just going in order. And again, I'm gonna use my cover to dictate like where the colors go, if that makes any sense. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through my personal process of coloring mandalas. I just like to start with that because everybody colors mandalas differently, and I think it's fun to see the different methods. And if this is your first ever video you're seeing of me, maybe you want to know. So I always start from the middle, and I don't personally color every single little line in bloopy. I might color more than usual because of how tight the pattern is, but we'll find out. I also, what was I gonna say? Usually I will use 5 colors, like 90% of the time I use 5 colors, and usually I will do 3 markers and 2 glitter gel pens, but I wanted to just keep it the same for this one because I thought it would be easier. So that is that. So I'm going to start from the middle, and what I do is I usually try to go through each of the colors once, and then I'll kind of just continue to balance as I see fit. So another thing, which I don't know if I literally just said this or not, is I don't fill in, yeah, I did just say this. I don't fill in every little bit, and I feel like some people feel the need to fill in every single bit, and then it like blows their mind the way I do it. So we'll see if your mind's about to get blown. But again, I think I'm going to color more than usual this time, but I don't know. All right, so since I ended up doing this video so late compared to when I wanted to, I thought this might be a good time to talk about books I've read recently, like my April wrap-up. I don't know. I've been doing, or I have done wrap-ups on and off for like 3 years. So this is not new for my channel, but I think that this way of matching the cover would be new for me, and I thought it could be fun. So Samuel is drinking, and I can hear all of his ice cubes jiggling around in his cup, which is pretty funny. But anyway, yeah, in April I finished 5 books, not including this one. I'm still working on this one. I'm like 100 pages in. And so I figured we could talk about them. 5 books is a pretty good month for me. I do a lot of audiobooks. I just am always multitasking, like always. So it's hard for me to physically read very much. I just have trouble focusing. So audiobooks are the way I go majority of the time. And I get my audiobooks either from the library. We personally have Libby as our library app, or from Scribd, which I do always have a Scribd link in my description. I don't really know what the Scribd link gets. I think you get like an extra long free trial if you use Scribd, but between the two of them, I am always able to find something. So Scribd is a paid service, but the library is free. And yeah, I don't know what order I read these in. I might have written them down in the order I read them. I think so. I wrote them next to me, so we'll see. I read first Caramel Pecan Roll Murder. So this is, I think, like number 28 in a series. So I'm not going to tell you too much about this specific book because obviously we're on book 28. So this is a cozy mystery series about a baker, like a cookie baker, who lives in Minnesota and she solves murders. So I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you, if it wasn't number 28, I don't know if I would continue to read them because they're starting to get a little bit stale. But at this point, I'm all caught up. Like, this just came out. So reading 1 to 2 a year, I think will still be doable. But basically, I think the problem this book is suffering from is, since it's number 28, it first started coming out in the 90s. And just things have changed since the 90s. And they have not really changed in the series. So, for example, I think our main character is in her 30s. And she had an issue with her house and now has to stay at a man's house. And she's like, I don't want the whole town to think that I'm sleeping with the man. And you're in your 30s. Like, you could if you want to. I don't get it. So it's a little bit outdated and weird in that way. But again, at this point, I'll probably still read them. I'm pretty invested in all the characters. It's so funny, cozy mysteries and cozy TV shows. Like how so many murders happen in such a small town. So it's like, I used to be a huge fan of Murder, She Wrote, and Cabot Cove is one of the most dangerous towns in the whole country because just every week, new murder. So that's kind of what happens here. And it's also fun to see how these shows and stories try to mix things up. So they'll like send the characters on vacation and then murders will happen on vacation. And it's like, you really just can't get away from it. So, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I know Shaina and Kathy both read this series, and I'm going to need to know what they're thinking when they get to this one. So I don't know, Kathy, you're going to have to let me know if you're rereading them or reading them for the first time, because I think I saw on her Goodreads that she was on like 21 or 2. So we'll see. But that is book number 1. This is coming out very dark. This always happens though. They kind of change color as you go. But I think we're looking pretty good compared to our cover, color-wise. I think my pink should have been more red than pink. But personally, I don't really like red. So I think this will have to do. So next up, I have been on a Agatha Christie kick also. So 3 of my remaining 4 books are Agatha Christie books. I have been attempting to listen through the Hercule Poirot series. I think I'm on number 25-ish on that series too, which is fun. So I read 2 from that series this month. I don't know which one was first or second. I'm going to say the first one was 5 Little Pigs. And this one was pretty fun and different. And basically, Poirot was asked to reinvestigate a murder that happened 15 years ago. And that is different because obviously he's not really seeing any evidence or the crime scene or anything like that. And he's just talking to all the people that were there. And it's cool because it's called 5 Little Pigs because there's basically 5 possible suspects. So he gets each of them to rewrite their account of the murder. And reading them, he figures it out. So that was fun. What's crazy in Poirot books, and I don't know if it happens in this one, so I don't think this is a spoiler. No, it's not. But in general, in his books, sometimes he'll like figure it out. And the person who did it will off themselves, to put it nicer, I hope. And he's just like, well, all right, guess that's solved. And it's like, oh, okay. What? So I don't know. But yeah, things were different. But what's also crazy is and what I'm interested, as I'm reading them, I'm pretty sure in chronological order. The first Poirot book came out in 1927, I want to say, either 1927 or 1929. And the last book came out in like 1972. So this was over 50 years, which is just impressive in general. And in the first book, he's already an older man. Like, I'm pretty sure he's retired all the way back in the first book. So I don't really understand how old he is at the end, but it's interesting and we're going to find out. Yeah. Then what else? So, yeah, for Five Little Pigs, he has to solve a very old crime. Then I read The Hollow. And this one was how the murder ended up happening ended up being cool. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but that was the fun part about this. But basically, Poirot was like invited to a family get-together, and it was like a very eccentric matriarch of the family, and a doctor who is like her nephew or whatever gets murdered, and Poirot thinks that like it was an act. So he like gets to the house and thinks that they're just like putting on a play for him, but it was a real murder. And then they have to figure out like he got there, and the dead doctor's wife has a gun in her hand, and he has to figure out what happened. So these are hard to talk about, but I feel like even if I told you the whole answer, unless you literally specifically looked it up, if you started reading these, you wouldn't know what was going on. But I'm not going to tell you the whole answer. That's rude. But that was a fun one too. There haven't been many that I haven't enjoyed. Sometimes it's hard to like keep track of which one is which by just the title, because I'm like 20 in, so. But I did that, and yeah, every once in a while, I'll get up to like a short story collection that will also include like a Miss Marple story. And when I do that, I go and listen to a few Miss Marples. So I'm listening to hers too. And then also Sam and I went on like a mini road trip, actually to a bookstore, which I don't think I ended up getting to talk about. So that's unfortunate. But we went to a Second and Charles, which if you have one, you should check it out. It's really cool. But it was about 2 hours from us. And I convinced him to listen to an Agatha Christie with me in the car. So we wanted to listen to a standalone. So we listened to Crooked House, which is apparently self-proclaimed as one of Agatha Christie's favorite books she's written. And we enjoyed it a lot. I think Sam enjoyed it even more than I was expecting him to. You really liked the book, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it was good, he said. But Crooked House is about another family, and this one's a standalone, so there's no like repeating detective. And the main character's name is Charles, and he wants to marry Sophia, but Sophia's grandpa gets murdered, and she's like, I can't marry you until we figure out what's happening. So they go and try to solve it, and it's kind of like a whole family that they all could have done it, and they all could be vouching for each other, and nobody knows what's going on. So it was fun, and again, the answer was a fun, unique answer. So I enjoyed that. So that was my 3 Agatha Christies. Samuel and I have actually started another Agatha Christie that is not yet finished. So, but we're listening. Okay, I'm very angry. Basically, I wanted to do ones that are standalones with Sam, because we're definitely only going to listen to them in the car. So if we don't go in the car for a week and just are only in the car on Saturdays, I don't want to not be able to finish one of my Poirot stories, you know? So I Googled while we were in the car, like Crooked House just finished and we had an hour left to go in our journey. So I was like, I'm going to Google standalone Agatha Christie. So I Googled it, and the first one that popped up was The Seven Dials. So I'm like, cool, let's start listening to The Seven Dials. So we started listening to Seven Dials, and we're like 6 chapters in, and I'm like, this is feeling like a sequel. Like in the Seven Dials, they're referencing another murder that happened in the same house. And I'm like, what's going on? So I look back at the list that I Googled, and it's, yeah, let me just show you because I can't believe it. Hold on. I screenshot it. I was so mad. So yeah, let's see. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. The top 10 Christie standalones. All right. I highlighted it. Again, I'd have to like stand up to see. Written by Agatha Christie, blah, 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 blah. Number 1 on this list, The Seven Dials Mystery. And the first line is the second of 2 books in the Chimney series. Hello? So obviously I could have and should have read that, but I didn't want to read what the story was about because we were about to listen to it. And why would I assume that it was a part of a series? If I looked up standalone books, why would it be number 1? Like, maybe it could have been farther down the list. Also, then I looked up this book on Goodreads to see, and it's claiming it's number 2 in essentially a 5-part series. And by that, I mean the same detective is going to be in 5 books. What? That's not a standalone at all. So I'm frustrated. But we're probably going to keep going with it, and then we'll just get to the other one a lot later. Like, we're not going to do it next, but wait a while. I don't know if there's really any spoilers, but they keep being like, oh yeah, the last time there was a murder. And I'm worried they're going to be like, yeah, and we found out Mr. Finkelstein did it. And then I'm be like, no. But I don't know. But it's actually been pretty funny. Just like the dialogue. So that's been fun. And I'm pretty sure we're only like 7 chapters in out of 34. But next weekend, we should be going to see Sam's mom for Mother's Day. So we'll get another good 3 hours in. And I'm looking forward to that. All right, let's see. So I feel I don't know if I love the purple. I don't think it's looking as purple as I want it to via the cap. But right now I'm in the middle of building a shelf, so I don't want to like leave and go get a different purple. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm just going to not focus on the purple very much right now. So I'm going to do the purple here and then pink next. But anyway, so that was 4. The last book I read this month is called The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is her 2nd book published and the 2nd book that I have read. I actually own her 3rd book and was hoping to read it but didn't get to it yet. But basically, this is a murder mystery, and it's the kind of thing where like somebody's dead right away. So in chapter 1, you know somebody's dead, and we're going back and forth like in time to see who's dead. So it is a wedding on like a remote island off of Ireland, and somebody's dead. We don't know who's dead. We don't know how it happened, obviously. And we go back and forth to try to figure it out. And I think we have like 5 different perspectives in this one. And it's like we hear from the bride, we hear from the maid of honor, we hear from the best man, we hear from like the owner of the hotel on the island. I think there was one more, but I don't know. And of course, it turns out that everybody's more connected than it seems and blah, blah, blah. Personally, I thought it was pretty good. I don't rate books anymore. I will really only rate, like on Goodreads especially, and like proclaim a rating if it's a 5-star or a 1-star. In the middle, I just let it be in the middle. So it was okay. It was a fun time enough. And I'm fine. I'm glad to have finally gotten to it. I've been wanting to read it for like a year. But I don't know. I'm not personally happy with the ending. I'm happy with who got killed, but not with who killed this person. So, a lot of the twists and turns. Oh, the 5th point of view is just another wedding guest. A lot of the twists and turns I caught on too early. So, like, I was like, well, duh, that's obviously what's going on here. But it was still fun to be right. But then the murderer, I did not catch on early. And I didn't like that connection. I don't know. It was a whole thing. But, yeah. So, sure, I would recommend it. I did listen to the audiobook for that one, too. And, it was a full cast, so each of the different point of views were read by a different narrator, which that's always fun. So those are the 5 I finished, and I'm currently working on this one, which is Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is probably my favorite romance authors. They're actually a duo. They're best friends. Christina and Lauren are their first names, and I think I've read like 5 of their books, and most of them are hits. I'm new in general, like I mostly read murder books, and so I'm new in general to romance, so I'm not really tired of anything yet, but I'm 100 pages into this one, and I'm interested in seeing where it's going, because the premise is like these people are starting to date, and now their companies that they work for merged, so now they're kind of competing for their jobs. So we'll see what happens. The thing with romance is you know the ending, so it's just kind of the journey to get there. But I've been reading this as like my wind down book at night. So I also borrowed it from the library, and I have the ebook on my Kindle, and I do that. So, because I've been trying to read on the Kindle instead of my phone so that it's better on my eyes right before going to sleep. I'm not sure what kind of difference it's made, but... And I also, like, need to break up the murder books because it's a lot of murder books. So, that's that. Let me see. Wake up, computer. I have read... It's loading. 26 books so far this year, which means this was a slower month for me, I guess. So I'm pretty pleased. I have my Goodreads goal at 50. I'm pretty sure my Goodreads is also linked down below in case you want to be my friend over there. Yeah, basically, growing up, I've always been a huge reader. Like, I was a super nerd. I used to take days of school off to read. And then I got to like college and stopped completely reading for fun, and it was sad. So for a few years I would read like 1 to 2 books in the entire year. And then I forgot that I'm gonna have to do a lot of that color. Okay, sorry. I think, what year was it? It's a lot of information that I don't know if you wanted. I'm looking at my Goodreads to find all my stats. Previous year. Yeah, in 2018, I started to like rev up again, and I read 31 books, which was not bad. Then in 2019, I went crazy, and I don't even know why. I think it was mostly like I was on BookTube a lot. So in 2019, I read 100 books. So that was pretty good. Then in 2020, you'd assume that's like, oh, everybody's home now, time to read. But I only read 54 books, which obviously like 54 is great on itself, but like compared to 2019, it felt like a failure almost. And then last year, I somehow only read 28 books. So like I halved it again. And I'm pretty sure last year I only read 1 book physically. I'm pretty sure it was like 27 audiobooks and 1 physical book, which again is a good number if you're not a reader, but compared to what I had been pulling in, wasn't my favorite. So I'm already up to 26, so we're almost about to beat last year. And I'm just gonna keep going. If I hit 50, I might change my goal, but I might not. We'll see. I just like having goals. So I didn't know how well I would do this year. Like I was worried 50 was a stretch, but according to Goodreads, I am 10 books ahead of schedule. So we shall see. Yeah. Yeah, I've rated 2 books 5 this year, and I rated the Caramel Pecan Roll Murder a 2. So that's where my ratings are at. Okay, sorry. Let's focus on this for 1 second before we keep talking. How I really love having this much yellow. I think for these, it seems that there's 3 different shapes of them. So I might use 3 different colors. And I think I'm gonna do the yellows and the oranges. I don't know. Let me do, sometimes when I get to this stage, I'll do like the whole pattern once and then repeat it. So I'm gonna do this color for this one. And then I think these guys can be in this color. Oof. And then, unfortunately, if I wanted to be even, I would have to do the purple, I think. Do I want to be even? Not really. Yeah, I'm not feeling the purple. So I think I'm going to do the darker orange for the last one. And then I will do the purple for these bloopies and these bloopies. So we will still get our purple. What do you think? That's what I'm going with. So I'm actually also really low on the hot pink. But I think that's what it's gonna have to be. So yeah, I think I will. So that's all the reading for the month. I think that's really the gist of the year. Let me know if you are into reading, what you read. Did you like this type of video? I don't know if I was going to make this a regular thing or if I really just wanted to do this mandala idea. So it just kind of made sense to talk about this while I was doing it. So let me know if you want this regularly or if this was enough for you kind of situation. But I'm going to talk about our trip to Second and Charles. Basically, Second and Charles is like kind of like Half Price Books, if you have those, but it's basically a store that you could sell your books to, and they will give you store credit, and then you can buy more stuff from them. They take books, board games, video games, DVDs, what else? Those are the big ones. So they buy all of that stuff. But the problem is they're really far away from me here. The closest one I thought was in Delaware, which was like 140 miles was how far away it was. And I was like, oh, I really want to go. And I almost convinced Sam to take me. And then I was looking it up and I found one in Pennsylvania that was only 100 miles. It was literally listed as 99.9 miles away. So I convinced Sam to take me out there. And we packed up all our stuff and headed on the road. Originally, I was hoping to sell like 40 books and like 5 board games and a whole bunch of stuff. Puzzles. I don't know if I said puzzles before. But we had like 4 or 5 tote bags full of goodies. And we got there. We had called. And we're like, okay, also, I was going to sell some coloring books. I forgot. We called and we're like, okay, do you accept coloring books? And he's like, they obviously have to be uncolored and it depends. So you can bring them in and we'll see what we take. And we're like, okay, cool. We're like, okay, do you need an appointment? And they're like, nope, just come on in and we'll work on you right away kind of situation. So we're like, great. So we packed up, went down there and got there with our totes of stuff. And he had us load it into their totes. They have like these big boxes. And I'm pretty sure you're allowed to like fill 3 boxes. And we're like, okie dokie. We filled our 3 boxes. And then he's like, okay, where are you guys from? Or something like that. I'm like, 100 miles away, I said with a smile. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, we're from New Jersey. And he's like, uh-oh, really? And I'm like, yeah. Is that all right? Like, what? I was worried that it was like they couldn't buy from us because we were out of state. And he's like, we're not going to finish this today. I was like, why not? It's like, there's too much. Like, we have a lot of stuff, so we'll have to, like, finish soon and call you back. And we're like, that's not going to work for us. Like, this was a 2-hour ride. We can't just, like, pop down here. So we kind of like went back and forth a little bit, both with him, not in an angry way at all, and with each other, because Sam and I are like, well, do we want to come next weekend? What do we want to do? I don't know what to do, because obviously like we felt bad to not be able to get rid of the stuff. And obviously I wanted to shop. So what? But he ended up being like, okay, well, what if you only do 1 tote instead of 3? I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. So he's like, and I was like, let's just do the books then, the reading books. And he's like, okay, that works. So we just did the reading books, and it filled up 1 full tote still. And he's like, okay, it should be done in 30 minutes. And I was like, what? So I think he did end up like cutting us in line, because Sam was like, can't you just like cut us in line since you already told these other people that it won't be done today? Like, we're here from 100 miles away. So he did, and it was very helpful. I think he like shocked him that we were here from so far. Also, I'm pretty sure he's like, yeah, the person in front of you, like the reason it's going to take 30 minutes is because we have somebody else from New Jersey. So I, again, don't really know why he was shocked, but they could have been from much farther south Jersey. So it was less of a ride. I don't know. But he got it done for us, which was good. We made $46 in store credit. They either do like store credit or you can get cash, but I'm pretty sure it was like $46 store credit or like $20 in cash. So obviously store credit is better. Plus I just wanted to buy things, but these stores are huge and they're like a little bit overwhelming. We actually went to our first one in Georgia when we visited Sam's sister, and I like basically had a panic attack in there because there was so much. So we just very slowly went down every single aisle and tried to read as much as we could, because it's all secondhand, so it's not like the most organized. They try very, very hard, like it's in categories and then supposedly alphabetical. But sometimes, like if you were looking for a specific author, like Christina Lauren, they could be anywhere in the L area. Like they weren't necessarily where they should be. So, but we looked all around. We were probably there for like 2+ hours between obviously waiting for the stuff and then checking out. But I got a few books. I'm planning to do a haul, hopefully as my next video. Depends on if my last item arrives. But I will show you my books in the haul too, because I do pop them in every once in a while. And yeah, we got some stuff. So that was our adventure. I don't know when we will go back down, because again, obviously, like if we want to sell a significant amount of stuff, it's apparently going to take too long. So I don't know. And I'm going to take a little bit to have that many reading books. Basically, once I finish reading a book, I donate it or get rid of it right away. So I will frequently like take books to the library book sale, but they haven't been taking donations for that. So I figured I would sell them since I had so many bags full. But once I'm not really a rereader, so I don't worry about keeping books. I think it's also because of space issues that I like having a whole big full shelf. But then if I kept all the books I finished reading, then I would like not have room for new books. So that's where I'm currently at. I used to keep all of my books, and in 4th grade, I made a card catalog for my personal collection. It was crazy. I basically taped on the edge of every book the first 3 letters of the author's name, which obviously like they're on the spine anyway. And then I wrote out a little bloopy bloop about each one, like pages and name, author, and maybe genre. I don't even know if I knew genre back then, like what the book genres were. I'm sure I knew what genre was, but it was a crazy and long process. And I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to tape on all over the books, but that's what I did. So where are we now? We're at like 34 minutes, and I'm pretty much done with my story, but we're so close to being finished. So I feel silly to either time lapse or to be done here. So we're just gonna try to speed color a little bit, but without actually speeding the camera. All right. So that's that. And I also, for my upcoming book haul, bought some reading books from Book Outlet that we will talk about. And I don't know what my May reading plans are. I do go back and forth doing a lot of Agatha Christie, and then I also have been listening to a different cozy mystery series. It's the Stephanie Plum series. She's a bounty hunter from New Jersey, and I love those books. So since I didn't read any in April, I'll probably read one or two of those in May. And I have so many physical books that I do want to read. I actually skipped to my book of the month subscription 2 months in a row, but I have many that I could get through. I'm also planning on my cruise to read the book Shipped. It is a romance book about cruise ship directors, I think. So I figure, what better place to read that than on a cruise? So I'm pretty excited. Yes. I have a lot of upcoming filming to do that I can tell you about, I guess. I'm hoping to finally be back to my 15 video month, which is every other day. I have everything planned, so if all goes well, I should do that. And I'm pretty sure, I mentioned this in my wrap-up, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have 8 collection videos. And essentially, however long they take is how long they take. So like that last one could be killer. But I'm going to do 2 parts for Disney and 6 parts for everything else. So I'm also actively in the process of building a new shelf for my office. Like, it's in the other room in pieces right now. And I took a break to film this. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm kind of vlogging that. So we'll see if I get to put that up. But exciting things. Should be a good month for me personally and a good month for the channel. So I'm hoping to like film all those collection videos early, because then that's 8 videos in a row. That's basically a 2-week break. So that'll be perfect for the cruise. And then I have my cousin's wedding the week after the cruise. So that's what I'm saying. Busy. Today's actually also Miss Noodle's birthday. She's passed out right now. She turned 7. And we went to the pet store and we went on a WALK. And she had a wonderful day. She had some steak for dinner with my dad. And we also at the Food Truck Fest, which I, again, don't know if I ended up getting to talk about. Sheesh, I'm like behind on the chats. I finally do stuff and I haven't filmed talking about any of it. But there was a food truck festival we went to, and there was a truck that sold dog things. So like treats and toys and stuff. So we got her dog beer, which was essentially just like broth and like bacon fat or something. I don't know. And we finally gave it to her, and she was not at all interested. So just like her mama, not a drinker. I felt really bad because she was interested in the bottle, and I poured it in, and she took a one lick of it, and she's like, nope. And then I'm like, please try again. And she took a second lick, and she was like, no, thank you. So, but I think she had a good day. Look, we've made it to the end. Okay. Whew. So, let's see. How do we like it compared to the book cover? I think I did a lot of yellow, but I really like the yellow. But I think in the outer ring, having that much orange and, orange and other orange helped. Let me write down today's date. May 1st, 22. That's it. So again, let me know what you think. Was this fun? Are you going to try this? I just love getting inspiration from all different places for my mandalas. Look at my bookmark. Hold on. Reading glasses. I can't tell if there's glare. I'm so sorry. But it's like a cup reading, and they have glasses. And yeah, it's funny. That's that. All right, let's come up with a code word. Bum-ba-da. Okay, this is a weird one. So they actually, the two main characters meet at a Halloween party. So our code word is going to be Halloween. Nobody will suspect it. It's kind of my favorite. Sometimes I'll just like be like, oh, orange, but no. Halloween is our code word. So yes, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed. Comment down below anything you want to comment, including our secret word, Halloween. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm a fun time. And again, my collection videos are coming soon. You're going to want to stick around. There's so much. There's so much. Like maybe even those bell notifications turn on. I don't know. But every other day, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when my videos come out. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in 2 days with my next video. Bye, friends.